as far as we as individuals are concerned, every time we come into incarnation, the soul gives us a set of rays. Our soul is always on one or other of those 7 rays. You're either first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, or 7th ray soul. On the personality level, it changes from life to life, or may change from life to life. So you could be in one life a first ray personality with a second ray mental body and a 4th ray astral body and a 3rd ray physical body. In the next life, something quite different. You understand? So that throughout a series of lives, the soul rings the changes until we begin to demonstrate all of those qualities. Now, the qualities of the rays have high points and low points. When they're pure, we call it the virtues of the rays. When they're impure or being badly demonstrated, then we call them the vices of the rays. So all rays have the higher qualities, the divine qualities, which you seek to inculcate. And then the vices, the counterparts to these, are, as we are evolving personalities, we demonstrate more easily the vices of the rays. And these are the things that hold us back in our evolution. So in any given life, the aim will be to demonstrate the higher qualities and to lessen the demonstration of the lower qualities of the rays. Everything that we see is made up of ray activity. Every nation is governed by a soul ray and a personality ray. As far as America is concerned, the soul ray is the 2nd ray of love, wisdom, and the personality ray is the 6th ray. So the soul aspect of America is one of love and or wisdom, the two together, but it demonstrates, as the rays of all nations demonstrate, only now and again at the highest possible moments. Mainly the 6th ray, which is demonstrated by the masses, is the one that demonstrates in countries which has a 6th ray personality. The problem for years and years until recently between America and Russia is that they both have 6th ray personalities. The 6th ray personality of Russia and the 6th ray personality of America gave them a kind of exclusiveness so that they couldn't see each other in the right way. But when the soul ray begins to demonstrate, in the case of America the 2nd, in the case of Russia the 7th, then they begin to see each other as equals, normal, friends, and so on. It's the most extraordinary thing. So if people can learn to work from the soul level, there is no difficulty, there is no bridge that has to be built. But on the personality level, you have to keep building bridges so that you can go from one to another in an amicable way. You see in the world, countries which have similar rays have always worked together, get on together, work together, trade together, and those which have very different in ray structures have hardly any contact and tend to not like each other.
When most people think of the word love, we think of romantic love or the love of a mother for her child. Is there more to love than that? Maybe a deeper understanding of love that's available to us?
Yes, indeed. I mentioned it earlier. The love of a mother for a child, even romantic love, is an aspect of love. But love is really a tremendous energy. We call it the Christ principle, the Christ consciousness. It is the energy of consciousness. It is the energy which ties together the building blocks of matter and keeps the planet in a cohesive state of reality. Without it, we say love makes the world go round. Well, literally makes the world go round, because the world wouldn't exist without that cohesive magnetic force which holds all the atoms of life together. On the other hand, the nature of our solar system is love. We are a 2nd ray solar system, and the nature of the 2nd ray is the love ray. So as far as this solar system is concerned, it hasn't always been the case and will not always be the case. God is love. This is something which Jesus demonstrated in a man for the first time. God, the divinity, as love in its perfection in a man for the first time. The Buddha, through his disciple, Gautama, demonstrated the wisdom aspect of that same love energy in a man, in its perfection for the first time. Maitreya brings in another aspect of God, which has yet to demonstrate perfectly in a man. And he himself will, I don't want to give away any of his secrets, he will bring a revelation of a new aspect of God which we are as yet unaware of, and demonstrate it in this coming age. That is the revelation which he brings. It is a new aspect of divinity, as yet not to be seen except in a fragmented form in the world.
Maitreya is called the Lord of Love, but I also read that he is a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief. Are both of these descriptions of Maitreya accurate?
That statement, the man of sorrows in the Creme, of course, was about Jesus, who stood in for Maitreya, who was overshadowed by Maitreya. And it wasn't Jesus's. It's usually seen as, that Jesus was a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief. Indeed he was, and he was crucified, and that was horrible, and so on. But what is really meant there, that he was a man aware of the sorrows of the world, acquainted with the grief of the world. And if you were able to look into the heart of Maitreya, who is the Lord of Love, you would expect to see the love of God in that heart, and no doubt you would. But at the same time, what you would actually see, something that he carries around moment to moment, is all the sorrow, all the anguish, all the grief, all the humiliation, the shame, the desperation of all of humanity. That's what lies in the heart of Maitreya. You could not stand that for a split second, and yet he walks about with it. He's in the world. It is his constant companion. As he has said, there is no separation between him and us from his point of view. So all of our sorrow, all of our pain, all our anguish, all of these griefs which are shared, the desperation, the desperate poverty-stricken lives of millions and millions of people are living realities to the Christ as he goes about his daily work. That is what is meant by that phrase. Because of that, because he is the Lord of Love, he can respond to this cry of sorrow. That's why he's in the world. We have invoked him into the world. Throughout the wars from 1914 to 1918, and from 1939 to 45, from the point of view of Maitreya, that's really one war. Our cry for help rose to the high mountain, the Himalaya, where Maitreya has lived for thousands of years, and he responded. We said, help us, help us. We are suffering. This is too terrible. No longer can we go on like this. And he responded, made the decision, and in 1945, June 1945, announced his intention to return to the world. That was fulfilled in July 1977 when he came into London, where he awaits recognition.
Esotericists such as yourself place significance on the full moon.
When the moon is full, it's as if a door is opened between the sun and the earth. And through that doorway, it's a symbolic door, do you understand?
Yes.
The energy from the sun can pour into the world, directed and stepped down, of course, to a level that we can bear by the spiritual hierarchy under the leadership of Maitreya. And so, in the coming time, the world will be one day united in an invocation to God to send down into the world the great spiritual blessings which will fulfill our lives and send us forward for another year into the manifestation of our divinity.